If we were to tell you the status, that would be the best answer to give at this time. I see that many people are actually very loving at this time. People are seeing this as a very troubling, challenging time, but many people are seeing this as a forgiving time. And what we can say is that the majority of people are actually in their heart at this time. Even people who have gotten a shot are in there. It is what they wanted, okay? It was a choice. And that means that they are making a choice, and that is in their best interest. Meaning, this is all about freedom. We are not saying that it is in their best interest. What we are saying is we are in the frequency of choice. We are in the frequency of freedom rather than control. So even people who agreed with the control are making a choice, meaning that we are in the abundance freedom frequency. So that means that our frequency is holding a space of freedom and choice and is not based off a frequency of control. Now, on the other side, we will say that there is a matter of control, of a movement for control that is spreading, that is trying to control more and more and spread their message to other people to control. And this energy is going in the opposite direction. For every time that they make an attack, the other ones will move against it. Meaning, every time that they move to make an advance to control, somebody will move to control them. Meaning, they will take that information and they will make a choice that does not advance the other side. So every time there is a move for control, the other person will make a choice. Even if that choice aligns with the control, it is a space of freedom. Now, does that mean that everybody is acting from a state of fear? When we are taking control of our own destiny? That is the question. Even if our movements align with the control, if it is not from a space of freedom, that is control. If it is a space of freedom, that is not in control, for you are making a choice. Even if that choice is not in your best interest, that is a choice. And that is the point that I'm making. So, are people healing? No, not to the majority. And we want to be clear and we want to be honest that the majority are not in a state of healing, but they are in a state of freedom. And that is a point that I am making. Now, going back to the whole state of ascension, are people ascending? Yes. Are the majority? No. How many? About 50% are in a state of control. About 50% are actually making the choice of being controlled, but in a state of freedom. Not from a state, so it is in a sense a state of power. They are taking their control, so they are not being controlled. Is it for their best interest? No. But they are stating that they are a sovereign being in that. Does that make sense? Asking you, Adriana.
Yes, I get
Okay.
that. So they basically, to put it as an analogy, they are inside the cage, but the cage door is open. Basically,
Yes. Exactly. They are choosing
they
to
know
be.
that
They are
they're in the
choosing.
cage, but they have chosen to be inside.
They don't even know they're in the cage.
Well, then how is it? How is it them choosing to give into the control them if they do not know that
That is a good question. It is like saying, I am in a cage. I do not want to leave. Now, do they know they're in a cage? No. Does their higher self know they're in a cage? Yes. That is the point. From a higher perspective, their higher self is choosing not to advance. Does the person know? No. The person does not know that they are being controlled. Now, the higher self is making a choice. The person in itself is making a choice, but their higher self is also making a choice to stay in that cage. They're choosing not to go through ascension. This is the point. The higher self, the soul, is making a choice not to advance. And this is fine. What are they doing? They're choosing to go through like a 26,000 year cycle again, and that is fine. However long it takes is however long it takes. This is fine. Most of the people are choosing not to go through ascension. About half. I say most, but it's about half. It's about 50-50. A little more people are not choosing. So it's not as high as we wanted. And that's fine. We don't see it as a failure, okay? Because what Heather wanted to know was, will there be ascension? Yes. Will there still be ascension? Even though the majority of the people are choosing not to go through it? Yes. Does that mean that you will go through ascension? Yes. Whoever chooses to go through ascension will be going through ascension. So the question is, because Atlantis fell, does that mean that we will fall because some people are not choosing to go through ascension? This time, no. No, you are not being held back. Atlantis was a fall because the majority did not want to go through. Okay, they chose the other way. They chose to be controlled. Okay, which was a choice. It was a choice as well then. Okay, it was an experience that people chose to go through. This time, we have seen that there has been so much karma that people have gone through that now we're giving them a choice. You can go through one way or another way. We are actually allowing choice on both sides. Okay, this is why people call this the bifurcation. Bifurcation. So, meaning you can choose to not go through ascension or go through ascension. Either way. This is where we have a split timeline. People can go through ascension and go to New Earth, or they can stay here and remain in this pattern. Okay, and Heather is asking if they will stay here on Earth. No. Okay, these people actually will die. Okay, I don't want to mean that as in they will actually die. Okay, as in it's complicated. There's going to be a split perception. Okay, so these people will go to another Earth. They will not be here in this Earth. It's very, very complicated. They will go to another Earth that is in this state of Earth. So this Earth is ascending. Okay, Mother Sophia, if you call her that, or Mother Earth, or the Earth itself, is ascending. Like there's nothing that's holding that back. Nothing that can hold that back because she has made a choice and she has, in a sense, already ascended. She is ascending. She is in that process. There's like nothing that can hold that back. So in another dimension, if you will, another like frequency. It's all about frequency. Okay, it's all about frequency, about where you are and what your perception is, what your experience is. All this happens all at once. There is no time. So these people are, in a sense, going to die in the sense that they were no longer in your experience. Okay, meaning that they will fall, if you want to call it that. Many people have, like, throughout time, throughout myth, called it like a fall. They will stay in the state of 3D. Okay, and how this will represent itself, how this will play out, is going to be, we cannot tell you, because that would be against certain rules. But what it will be is that you will separate and have different laws about what is possible and what isn't possible. Okay, so like you will be aligned with people, like it is possible that these certain things are possible. We know that these things are possible, and so you're going to lead to more positivity and growth and expansion and new earth ideas. These things are possible. The other people are going to be like, no, these things are not possible, and they are, in a sense, choosing the mundane and the material, and in a way, the inorganic, the AI technology, kind of science, if you would say science, but limiting science. Even though they will see it as growth, they will see it not as limitation. And what will happen is that they will go that way, that route. Okay? And many people will call this the Gray's timeline. And they will go down that route. This is very complicated. That route will actually be seen as the new earth for them. That is their new earth. That is their creation. And they're, in a sense, creating, but they're not creating in the way that you create. They are creating through the materialism, through structure. Okay? And once they go down that path, it is very hard to get out of, but they are choosing to go through that route. They are choosing to go through that experience in hope that they will choose to get out of it. This is their higher self's perspective, not the person, the higher self's perspective. Their hope is to get out of that. They want to have that experience. They want to learn to get out of that. Now, this is going to be very, 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 very challenging for them. Okay? But they know what they're doing. On a personal level, no. On a higher self, they do. And this is the choice that they're making. I want to say that I do understand it. This is Archangel Michael, by the way, talking. I understand why they are choosing this cycle. It is a path of choice. Okay? Everybody makes a choice of what they want to experience in life. And okay, so then they will go through that, and then you will go through another earth. Okay? So when people talk about going to the new earth, when people talk about, going to another dimension, you're going to another source. This is very complicated to explain, but you are actually going to another source. All source is source. There's only one source of energy. But when we split like this, what is happening is you are experiencing a different source energy. Okay, so all dimensions have different sources of energy. It is almost like having multiple gods. Okay, there are no multiple gods, but what I mean is that you are understanding God in a different way. You are understanding what God is in a different sense. So then you go to the fifth dimension, and the fifth dimension is nothing more than saying, this is who I am. I see myself as divinity. The other is seeing themselves not as divinity. They are choosing to experience themselves in that way. And that is their choice. And so the fifth dimension is saying, I am divine. I choose divinity. I choose source, and I align with this. And so I'm going this way. And so what will happen is a certain experience of separation. And will the people on this planet, the people that did not choose that, will they go down that path of understanding? No, they do not understand. So when you leave, will they understand what happened? No. No, they will not. They will have some sort of explanation about what happened, about why people disappeared. And this is why people talk about, there has been prophecies about the last days and prophecies about, people disappearing. This is all what this is about, actually. This whole prophecy of, people disappearing and making some sort of explanation. And they will have an explanation about why certain people are here and why certain people left. And yes. So to clarify, there's about 50-50. And I see this playing out about 50-50. I see about maybe there could be 40-60. 40-60 about, and I mean that in the sense of 60% do not go and 40% go. It's about half. But I do want to say that there is a majority that are choosing not to. In the perception of the people, the alliance, the higher perspective, this is not a gain or a loss. This is just the way it is. This is acceptance. It's not like we said, oh, we lost the war. This is there. We do not see it as any sense, okay? Because we have gained the right to go through ascension. So there is no plan here that has failed. There is no war that was lost. Now, does it mean that we should give up and not try to reach these people? No, that's not what we're saying at all. These people have a choice. Should we stop and give up and not give them the choice to go through enlightenment, to go through ascension? No. It's not like we're going to sit back and say, okay, well, it's 40-60. We're going to keep giving that choice, that gentle nudge of, hey, there's another way, there's another way. Do you really want to do this? Up to the very last day, although time does not exist. Up to the last point, although it is coming to the point where they will not be able to choose any longer and they make that choice. And we cannot tell you exactly when that will be, although we will say that it is here, almost here. And we have kept expanding this time. We have kept taking the time, spreading it out, and giving more time and more time, as in prolonging this, because it was supposed to happen way long ago. But we keep expanding, we want to reach as many people as possible, although that cannot be prolonged any further than we have done. We cannot keep prolonging this. It has to happen. Or if it doesn't, these people are going to get worn out. They're going to get tired. The people that are on the side of ascension are going to get tired and burned out. We cannot prolong this for much longer. I know that she sees herself as very high standards, that we have very high standards for people to go to ascension. And her standards are so high. Our standards are not that high, okay? It is only, as other people have said, 51%. 51% of light goes to ascension.
But
Okay?
you have to have that light and make the conscious decision.
No. It's 51%. Okay, this is where it gets complicated, and I can see
By making the decision you make yourself that
some people will go and they won't even understand that they chose Ascension. This is the
when I meant consciously, I meant like on the higher self level.
right. It's a choice on a higher self. Some people will actually go to New Earth and be like, what is this? Where am I? What just happened? They won't even know. And this is very, very complicated because, as some people will say, why are some people not choosing New Earth when they are good people? They seem to be at 51%. And these are good people. These are good people. So they're not bad people. But what I can say is that their heart is not. How to explain? It is like their heart center is not open. Their heart center does not understand the light, does not understand truth. On an intellectual level, these people would do kindness. These people would do good for other people. They would say, oh, I want to give to the poor. I'm going to give to a charity. But are they doing this from a perspective of lack? Right? These people lack something. I must give. They are not understanding divinity. They are not understanding that there is no separation between that person and another. They are not understanding that when they give, they are giving to themselves. They do not understand who and what we are. So another way, so people will simplify this and say 51% of service to others. 51% of service to others. And this is accurate, but it's not the full understanding of it. 51% of light. 51% of light understands who and what light is. Okay, so it's not just an act of giving to others. It's an act of giving to yourself. It's understanding that we are one. 51% of understanding that. Service to others. So it's not as simple as mean people who are stealing and cruel and corrupt. It is more than that. It is of the light. It's 51% of light. It's not intellectual. It's not an intellectual view. For there are many friends and family that are choosing to not go through Ascension. It does not mean that they are bad people. It just means that, yes, they are choosing the dark. Dark as in unknowing. Darkness is just not knowing who we are. Light is of knowing. It's of choice and knowledge and creational energy. These people are choosing not to create. That is a simplified reality, a simplified way of stating this, that they are choosing not to create. 51% creation. It depends on where you're acting from. Are you acting from an intellect or are you acting from your feelings? Yes. You can go through the act of giving to others, giving to charity, helping other people. But you're doing that because that is an idea. This is what a good person, a good servant to society, right? This is what a good person does. Because I was told that's what a good person does. Not because I know that's who I am. That's because I think that's the right thing to do. Does that make sense? Yes. Is the act just an act, or is the act from yourself? Is your act from a source? a perception of what you are. This is why people are controlled. It's because I read that this is what you're supposed to do. I was told this is what you're supposed to do. This is what my mother told me that I should do. Right? That makes sense, right? Are you acting from a place of fear? Because if I don't do that, that means that I'm a bad person. So I have to do this. It's like taking the act as you. I have to act in a certain way to be who I am. Instead of understanding who you are, to act. The act is defining you, not you are defining yourself through the act.